Hello, good morning and welcome. It's 10 o'clock, it's the 28th of March, and we're starting with the AUD USD. I'm very pleased to see we've had another short candle this morning. Um, and if we go and we just remind ourselves of the commitment of traders report, we saw the commercials putting this extra lump of shorts in last week, and the large speculators didn't do the same. So I think they'd sort of got bitten on the last lot, and we are seeing the Australian dollar um, getting shorter. Yeah, it's moving down on the pair, and wow, sorry, our USD. We're actually below the 50 line now on the RSI, which is really nice to see. I've moved all my stops on these top four trades to this position here, which is sort of well behind the support, or yeah. So yeah, I'm looking for this to short down, continue through, and we'll carry on now. Our New Zealand dollar. Yeah, we've had a little bit of a retracement this morning, but the New Zealand dollar, if we can just go back to the commitment of traders report, this was heavily long, really long position. So you've got the Australian dollar, which is short, and the New Zealand dollar, which is long. And this is working quite nicely for us. It picked out this turning point. So we've had about 4 or 5 weeks, in fact, all the way back to January, which is more like about 10 weeks of long movement. The commitment of traders report picked out the turning point, and we've followed nicely down. We've been in the trade from all the way at the top here. So that's looking, it's just bouncing off the 50 line here. I think it's going to follow through. We've got our trend line here. I've tried to put it at about the same angle, maybe a little bit steeper than the line up here. So let's see if that follows on through. The stochastics at the bottom and sort of slightly turning up. I'd like to see a good solid bounce through the 50 line there. So we'll wait and see what happens there. AUD JPY. Well, yes, let's just have a look at the Japanese yen. We know what happened to the Australian dollar, the Japanese yen. We were actually, the commercials weren't quite as long as they were. So we're probably looking for a poor week on the yen this week. But we're going to hold on to that trade, are we? No, we got out of it. I got out of it. It looked a bit oversold, and I'm looking to put some more money on the USD Mexican peso or on the euro dollar. So I've got out of that trade, and let's move pound Australian dollar. I got out of this one as well. It's in the oversold position. This candle today, more or less all of it is outside the upper Bollinger Band. Doesn't mean that it isn't going to follow through to the north. You know, extra strength in it. It's just that I'm looking to put money on other trades, which I think are more less risk. The SP 500 is about where it is. It hasn't really gone up. I know a lot of people are looking for this to long, but the RSI is still below the 50. The stochastics tipping up, but I'm really waiting to see what happens with this. And we'll move on now to the AUD-CAD. Having a little bit of a pregnant pause, but the AUD on the commitment of traders is short, and the Canadian dollar, ooh, there we go, come on. Canadian dollar had this massive move up to long, so you know, I feel certain something's going to happen this week. The people over there that invest the money, they've sort of got a hint that there's some big movement coming. I did notice that the Brent crude had tipped up a little bit. We got a long candle on that today. Not much of one, but it hasn't really done anything since he had a fall about 10 days ago, and we got out of that. So this is just, you know, this big move. There's got to be something going to happen. Right, so we're looking for the Canadian dollar to go up and the Australian dollar to come down. We're outside the trend lines. The RSI hasn't gone below the 50 yet, which I'm really waiting for. The stochastic, the lines have closed up, showing little or no movement, which is a reflection of what we see in the chart. And yeah, it hasn't done much for a few days, so I'm waiting for something to happen there. Euro, Japanese yen. It's sort of come up and it's touched my trend line. I was expecting this to maybe long for a couple of days, but it hasn't really done much. I got out of it at this blue line. I'm fairly interested in getting back in, but not today. I can't see any reason why I should enter it today. I think there's still a chance it might come up and touch the mid-Bollinger Band. You know, so I'll keep an eye on that. There's so much going on and so much good news coming out that we can act upon. There's no point taking a weak trade. Hang fire. Euro GBP. I'm not in this. We've got obviously the Brexit being signed today. I don't know what sort of effect that's going to have. Everybody knows it's going to happen, so I can't see why it should have any effect. We're just knocking below the 50, but it has bounced this point before, bounced there, so it's on support back there. So let's see what happens with that. Euro dollar, yes, well, it's gapped up yesterday. It's going to close the gap, I would say. I haven't had a sell signal yet. So, you know, I know you're asking, why am I in these two trades without, you know, and I think I got in at the top of this candle here, and I just didn't put my stop in because I could have got a slightly better position there. But I think if we look at the commitment of traders report on the yen, sorry, the euro, this is as bearish as they have been for over 12 months. You know, so, and it's reflected, it's like a mirror image in the speculators. You know, we will see this come to fruition. I've got quite a big trade on this, so, you know, I am hoping for it. Pound USD, just absolutely amazed. Look how steeply this has climbed. Again, reflected in the commitment of traders report. Pound. Yeah. See, now this is like 2 weeks ago. We had this step up, and this is as bearish as they have been for, as bullish as they have been for 12 months. Reflected in the speculators, it's like a mirror image. So, you know, that was predicted, so to speak. USD JPY. This is where I got out at the blue line. We're slightly below it. I was expecting a little bit of retracement back up here towards the mid Bollinger Band. It really hasn't happened, but the RSI is not below the 30.9 mark, which it really needs to be for a continued downward trend. So, I don't know if it's going to bounce from here, but like I say, there is a lot of good trades. So I'm not getting into that one. USD CAD. Well, I've got out of this one for obvious reasons because of the long move on the commitment of traders. It probably went up. So just showing me, Forex always teaches you a lesson. But I was out for a little bit of a profit. It was an uncertain trade as far as I was concerned. I'd rather have my few pennies and stick them somewhere else. You're above the 50 line on the RSI, and really you're coming towards the top on the stochastic. Yes, I'm out. So unless it goes, it's mid Bollinger Band, so it isn't sort of at an extreme, which is what I'm looking for, overbought or oversold. Unlike the USD Mexican peso, which is at an oversold extreme. The pair is. The Mexican peso is at an overbought extreme. And we're looking for this to long. We're looking for the pair to long, not the Mexican peso. And we're in this downward trend here in the between the bottom Bollinger Band and the 20-day moving average. We've hit the 30.9 and we've bounced off it twice. We've hit my trend line twice, and we've had one green candle. The commitment of traders report on this peso. Here we go. You can see the climb here in the peso, and obviously they're hedgers. So this is when they're looking for it to short. And look at this big short we had here. Then they got rid of some of their short trades, taking profit. And here they were long, and they've got rid of some of their long trades, and then they have got rid of all their long trades, and they're down near the zero mark, which means that they're looking for it to short. Mirrored more or less exactly by the large speculators. So we will see, but I've hung on to this now for a couple of weeks, and I'm really waiting for a move. So one, two, yeah, another week. Give it another week, and we'll see what happens. Well, there you have it for this week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.